I'm KT McFarland. We have a special treat today. Joining me is the President of Kosovo, President Jahjaga. As she's in New York for the United Nations meetings this week, one of the things we wanted to ask her about was the threat of ISIS. Now, Madam President, as you know, our president has launched an Arab-American coalition to bomb the ISIS areas in Syria and in Iraq. One of the things that you have to cope with, you're a majority Muslim country. How do you see the threat of radical Islam that it would affect you in Kosovo?
No. Okay, thank you so much. It's really a pleasure to be in New York and especially to be at your studio here. Unfortunately, Kosovo, like all other countries of the Europe and the countries around the world, has not been and cannot be immune towards this global threat that the foreign fighters are posing. We are taking these threats very seriously, and our security mechanisms are working around the clock to address this type of the challenges, and we have taken some preventive measures into this element, and we have taken both the legal and the security steps forward in order to stop the flow of the foreign fighters in Kosovo, and also not using that as the corridor for the further. In the recent weeks, we have arrested about 50 suspects, which are mainly suspects to having been at one point joining the ISIS, or they have been a kind of inspiring the Kosovo citizens to join the terrorist cause, whether is this through the misuse of the religious teaching, or is via the financial means or financial support. And at the moment we are in the process of adopting the law which foresees the sentence and imprisonment up to 15 years to all of the people who are affiliated with this type of the links or with this type of the activities. And we in Kosovo are very much determined that Kosovo has never been and it will never be a safe haven and the transit route or this type of the activities. And we are determined for the zero tolerance for this kind of activities that are exposing the threat which will destabilize the Kosovo and which will destabilize our allied countries and the friendly countries. In the fights, when we speak about the ISIS, there is no country individually. This requires a global effort, and this requires a joining efforts from the countries, being small or being wider, because the threat which is being exposed by these groups and by these individuals towards the democratic countries, towards our societies, goes beyond Syria and goes beyond Iraq.
Well, your country, because of the location of Kosovo, and we'll see it on the map in a minute, you could potentially be the corridor. I mean, you've talked about the steps that you are taking in Kosovo to prevent Kosovo citizens from becoming radicalized and joining the fight. But you also have, potentially, radical Islam, people who are fighting in the region, could move through Kosovo into Europe and to the rest of the world. What steps are you taking to prevent that from happening?
So far, we haven't had the indication about this type of the phenomena. But again, as I said earlier, that we are taking very concrete steps forward. As I said, about 3-4 weeks ago, we have taken a huge operation conducted by all of the security mechanisms in Kosovo, including the police, intelligence, prosecutor, and judges, to bring behind the justice and in front of the justice over 50 people that has been affiliated with this type of the phenomena. But Kosovo is, due to this geographical position, that can be kind of like a potential risk as the corridor. And what we are doing now, and with the huge political support which is in the country, and hopefully this example will be used as a good example also by other regional countries of the Western Balkan or the southeastern part of the Europe, with those concrete action to put the sealed doors in the regions, that these kind of threats should not be transport or using as the corridor, moving towards the east or moving towards the western side. So the countries have to do their homework on putting the sealed doors on this kind of a phenomenon.
So are you cooperating then with NATO, the European Union, Americans to, as you say, seal the door, put the door on?
Kosovo has extremely good cooperation with all of the international organizations. As you are aware, due to the circumstances of Kosovo, Kosovo has in presence in the country the NATO mission and has the presence of the EU mission in Kosovo, and we are extremely good having good cooperation between the EU, between the EU mechanisms of the security and the NATO, how to best tackle this type of the phenomenon.
Okay, you got a unique background. You're not a politician, you're not an academic. You come to the job as president of Kosovo with a law enforcement background. What does your gut tell you? You know, we're hearing from American military leaders, European leaders, experts in the Middle East that this could be a 30-year war. Does your gut tell you that we're in this for a very long period of time?
Actually, Katie, I'm a politician now. I used to be the law enforcement, and yes, indeed, my background is slightly unique from globally. But professionally, from my previous profession, and also seeing now from the lenses of the politician, which we are called, especially that we as the presidents, no matter where we are responsible for our national security. We should make our acts together now while we have the time and while we have the momentum. That we should not predict what should happen in about 10 years' time or 20 years' time. We should do our whatever is required to be doing for the sake of our countries, for the sake of our citizens, and not leave it to the chance what will happen tomorrow. So now is really the time to act it, and we can do it that only by supporting each other and with a proper coordination and collaboration among ourselves.
When you, because Kosovo is a multi-ethnic country, but it does have a majority Muslim population, do you feel that the Kosovo people, is there an opportunity for radical jihad to take effect in Kosovo? I mean, what's the appeal, or is there no appeal in Kosovo?
Kosovo is, like you said, a mostly dominated Muslim population. We are the we are a seculating country, and by the constitution, we are a laic country. The faith is on the individual basis and the choosing of every individual, of every member of the society. We have, for the centuries back, cultivated the interreligious tolerance, and that has been one of the biggest strengths of our country and our society that we have promoted for the ages and old. And this time of the actions which we are seeing, and also including the last operation that has been taken with over 50 suspects, which compose about 2/3 of the people that has gone for the foreign fighters. That has been appreciated by the general population of Kosovo, because the people of Kosovo are pro-European people oriented towards the EU and towards the EU integration processes, are the people that we just came out of the terrible war which has left a lot of consequences, and we have the values that we have inherited for the decades and centuries back, and these values are the values that our people are trying to promote and move in a direction of the forward.
Now, you mentioned the fact that Kosovo had to fight for your freedom. So here you are, the Kosovo nation, you're doing really well economically and every other way, and yet the world has you in this sort of half this, half that category. You're not a member of the United Nations officially. Some nations recognize you, others don't. How's that working out?
Actually, that continues to be a challenge, and we, together with our allies and friendly countries, we are continuously enforcing on the process of the recognition of our statehood and the independence of Kosovo. And we so far have about 107 countries which has recognized Kosovo's statehood, and we are already members of several of the important international organizations. Our main aim and goal is to become a member of the United Nations and other important international organizations. So we will be able to give an equal contribution to the global challenges, because at the end of the day, being a smaller or bigger country, being a member of the UN or not a member of the UN, the serving to our citizens an equal obligation to every country around the world. And we are really hoping that we will be rising above these geographical obstacles in order to get Kosovo's recognition towards its statehood.
You know, I have to ask you this as a woman. You've achieved enormous things in your career and in your life. Do you find that women throughout the Middle East, throughout Europe, look to you as a role model? Do the younger women look to you and say, gee, I could be that someday myself?
Actually, every one of us, no matter where we are in the politics, we are into the media, we are into the civil society, or no matter where, which field we are. Being a pioneers, which is the case of Kosovo, because Kosovo has elected a woman to be one of the pioneers in the region for the first time ever in the history of the southeastern part of the Europe, to be a role model and to send the signal, because by electing a woman, not only as a president, but also in other higher position, it is a revolutionary kind of step forward. But that's the signal that can happen and can be made. And hopefully to be this kind of like message to be sent that is the right investment that has to be done in the country. Because my approach is by investing in a woman, you're not investing in an individual. And you are investing into the future of the country. You are investing in the family, and you are investing in the children, which is the future of the country. And my dear friend, Secretary Clinton and Secretary Albright has always, which has been also one of my role models, is that we have and we should not forgive ourselves always to do something for the other women ahead of us.
Well, good for you. You're breaking glass ceilings. May you continue to break them. That's it. Thank you so much. The President of Kosovo, President Jahjaga, and she's joining us here on Defcon 3. Have a great day. Thank you.